Three vital Premier League points up for grabs this afternoon. And Norwich City, despite the fact that Ian Butterworth and Mike Walker have all played it down, hurt, I would have thought, by the 7-1. That must be in their minds. Let's join our match commentators in very wintry conditions, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Well, despite this bitter reminder that winter hasn't yet moved away, Norwich City are champing at the bit this afternoon, partly because this is only their third game in a month, but also because there is something of a score to settle with Blackburn Rovers, blizzards permitting. Mike Walker expected to be without Jeremy Goss, who hurt a hamstring here in the last match against Manchester City, but didn't bargain for losing Ian Butterworth to a similar strain in training. Contrast to Norwich are unchanged. That still means no Alan Wright, no Gordon Cowans, but as we saw against Chelsea last Sunday, Tony Dobson and Patrick Anderson, very capable replacements. It's a special afternoon for Tim Sherwood, who spent 2.5 years with Norwich before leaving for Blackburn exactly a year ago.
First half, Jason Wilcox away here.
Yeah.
Fabulous ball from Newell, set it up, didn't it?
Yeah, lovely through ball from Newell. He does everything right here. He looks nice and composed, but he just pulls his shot, which he can do from that position. But he should have hit the target, or he should have made Brian Gunn maybe make a save there. It was a bad miss, really.
This was Rule Fox.
Lovely little dribble, yeah, lovely little dribble. He should be looking up here. He's got Mark Robbins in a superb position. He sits back about 8 yards from the byline. That's his favourite position, Mark Robbins. It just needed a little roll back there, and that could have been a goal for Norwich.
Ripley away here, Mike Newell waiting. Should have done better, perhaps?
Yeah, nice little dribble this, and a good quality cross this time, because his crossing sometimes has been disappointing, but he gets just clear with his strength and his pace. It's a good cross in. Mike Newell's completely on his own, gets up, it's time to pick his spot, and he heads it past the post, and he'll be really disappointed with that.
Norwich weren't finding their way to the bylines often. They did here, though, when Phillips got away.
Yes, they did. They've been not getting behind the Blackburn defence here, but this was a really good chance here for Phillips. Tucks it right across. It just needs a toe in there, but Henry does very, very well there and gets in front of his forward.
A 0-0 massacre was the way Frank described it as we went to half-time. Let's say
Road, Kenny Dalglish would perhaps regard it as 2 points that got away. Blackburn, the better side, coming here better prepared really in terms of players available. Character and commitment, the order of the day, and both sides battled hard against the bitter weather. Brian Gunn, the busier of the two goalkeepers. Norwich now 5 points behind Manchester United, still with a game in hand, 7 adrift of Aston Villa, but City have played 2 games less than them. Blackburn remain in 5th place, and their thoughts now turning to what is likely to be a very tricky trip back to the northwest tonight, and also professionally turning to the FA Cup and that quarter-final at home to Sheffield United next Saturday. Final score here at Carrow Road, Norwich City 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. Let's join Nick Collins.
Thank you, Martin. Yes, with me, Roy Wegerle and Brian Gunn. First of all, Roy, how difficult were the conditions out there for playing?
Well, they weren't the best to start with. It was quite thick with snow in the beginning, but yeah, that soon went away, and then I think the game turned into just a normal game after that. But at first it was difficult, yeah.
Just before the end, you came very close to breaking the deadlock. The man standing next to you actually stopped you.
Yeah, we had a couple of chances. I think they played very well, and we have a lot of respect for them, obviously, because they're a good footballing side. And I think we wanted an early goal, would have helped us. But no, he did well. He played well today, and he made a few good saves.
Here comes the run.
Yeah.
Did well to keep your feet, actually, in those conditions.
He down after me. Once I was through there, I thought I might have a chance to shoot, but Gunny come straight out and saved it. So good save there.
Here it comes again.
I was just from another angle. Yeah. Well, it's a good ball forward. You see, we try and stretch him early on and just try and get him running towards our own goal. And I've just got to wiggle my way through here a little bit. He comes out very quickly, Brian, and he smothers the shot really before I can have a chance. So good save, yeah.
Brian, given the fact that 3 players failed late fitness tests, were you satisfied with a point?
Well, I think we'd have been happy with 3 points. Our aim now is to win most of our home games, and if we can pick things up away from home, all the better. Obviously a hard game today against Blackburn because they're one of our closest rivals in the league. So you know, it was important that we didn't get beat today because that would have meant to close the gap. So we've got another game Wednesday now against Arsenal, so if we can pick up 3 points there and keep in with the front two, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens at the end of the season.
Orange ball in the first half, white ball in the second. Which one did you prefer?
I think the second half ball was a bit better. The first, that was like playing in the schoolboys again with that orange one. You know, I think we got it out of the boot room with about 2 seconds to go before kick-off. The referee realised it was a bit too white to play with a white ball, and then the orange one came out, the dreaded orange ball. So I'm glad it went back in at half-time.
At one stage, it looked as if we were never going to get through that match, just after kick-off when it was really coming down.
That's right, it wasn't too good. My visibility wasn't too good from one end to the other, but you know, we were surprised when we woke up this morning to see how white it was. Obviously it done well to clear just before the game, and then we had another downfall, you know, minutes before we started. You know, you can't obviously tell what the weather elements are going to do, so we're just glad to get the game finished in the end.
Finally, Roy, just very quickly, were you pleased with the point?
Yeah, I think so. I think, as Brian said earlier, both teams needed the 3 points really to keep in touch with the other two. But yeah, it was a good contest, and I think 1-1, we each got a point. I suppose we're happy with that.
Well, thanks very much for joining us. Richard.
Thank you, Nick. Norwich City 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. Very enjoyable. Frank McClintock, what's your verdict?
Well, I think considering that Norwich had 3 very important players out, they'll be quite happy with a point here today. I thought Blackburn were the better side almost throughout. I thought that they defended absolutely brilliantly. It was almost like Liverpool of the past, because Liverpool were so good in the ball, people forgot how hard they worked when they didn't have the ball. And they just had a bank of 4 each time, made it very difficult for Norwich to build up any attacks. Norwich had to do everything at top speed because the covering and the marking by the Blackburn team was excellent. Good running off the ball up front as well. I think they've done just about everything right except finish well in the end.
OK, goalless, plenty more to come between now and 7 o'clock on Super Sunday. Next will be Totally Ran from Ripley.
Yeah, Ripley was, as Andy says, was causing all sorts of problems here. He uses his strength, his pace, and just gets it across in here. And it was just blocked by Poulsen. I don't know if Bryn Gunn got an actual hand to that, but that was probably the best chance of the second half there. Wegerle had a good game. It was Poulsen that actually blocked it. He spread himself very well there, didn't he? He didn't know it actually hit him to hit him. You just take a chance and you throw your body in the general direction, but it was a good save in the end.
Norwich didn't have too many chances to speak of. One here perhaps for David Phillips, who likes to strike a ball from distance, and that's exactly what he did here.
Oh, he scored so many important goals. I mean, this was hit very quickly as well. Someone was closing him down. He dragged it a little bit. It just bounced outside the post, but he's been a match winner for them on many occasions.
Nasty one for goalkeepers too.
Yeah, in this surface. Yeah, in this surface. I mean, if he had just a little bit more time there, you would have fancied him to score, because if you're a goalkeeper and with a surface like that, Phillips can really smash a ball, and that could have been, you know, really curtains for them.
What about that Wegerle spin in the box? Brian Gunn had to be on his toes to come out and make a save, didn't he? Well,
he has got lovely tricks up his sleeve, hasn't he, Roy Wegerle? And it was a good run off the ball. They were making these kind of runs, him and Yule, who had an excellent game. I thought it was tremendous to him, but he keeps ahead of Real Fox there, uses his weight, twists and turns, gets in between the two of them somehow, gets in, and Brian Gunn comes really out and blocks that shot very well. If he'd have stayed in his line, I'm sure that would have been a goal there. He just came out so quickly, never gave Roy Wegerle a chance to look up and take note of what was happening. But great body strength here, to stop and be as quick as that and still be alert to go in between two defenders. Nearly goes down. There's Bryn Gunn just coming in there and blocking the shot.
And Patrick Anderson nearly pinched it at the end, which
yeah,
would have been obviously very pleasing from Blackburn's point of view. Disappointing for Norwich, but game does last 90 minutes.
Yeah, it was a good distance out. I think it was about 35 yards, and he has a good dig at it.
Good save.
Bryn Gunn gets a tip there. I thought it actually went past the post at first, but it was skidding, wet surface, and it could have gone in the corner.
Let's hear what the Blackburn manager, Kenny Dalglish, thought about it. He's with Nick Collins.
Well, Kenny, given the weather conditions, were you satisfied with the point this afternoon?
I don't know what the weather conditions have got to do with the game in reference to a point, but obviously I thought we played very well. And I think if it was going to be one side that was going to win it, I think it would have been us. But as I say, we're content with the way we played. Obviously we'd like to have won.
That's right, you did create a great deal of chances in that second half, didn't you?
Well, we had a few in the first half as well. As I say, but we're playing well enough, so that's very important to us.
Roy Wegerle came very close just a few minutes before the end. He kept his feet very well, given the slippery conditions.
Yeah, obviously conditions in the first half were more of a problem in the second half. Roy did well. He got in between the two defenders, and Brian Gunn did well coming out to as quickly as he did to narrow the angle down. But just after that, he had a good save Gunn as well from Patty Anderson. So from beginning to end, we looked as if we were going to score, but obviously we didn't.
How important was it for you to get something from this game today?
I don't know how important you seem it is. I mean, the season finishes in May, and this is only the first week in March. So, just say we don't put them under any pressure other than to do the best they can in every game, and they did as well as they could today.
Sure, that's right. But with Norwich just 2 places above you, I suppose in a sense it was important that you did get something from this game.
It's always important you get something from any game, isn't it? But as I say, our principle's only to get as much as we can and play as well as we can in every game we're competing in. And they've done that today, and our lads have done very well.
It's been a few weeks now since Alan Shearer last played. Can I ask you what the latest news is on him and his recovery?
Well, he's fine. There's no problem.
I know he's not likely to be playing here, and just wondered how well he was recovering from his injury, though.
Well, the guy's only come out of hospital, isn't he? I mean, I don't know what they expect. It's not as if he's a member of the royal family. You're looking for a bulletin every week or every day to see how he is. Alan will recover in his own time, and Alan will be back playing for Blackburn Rovers as soon as he's fit to play for Blackburn Rovers. It takes away, and I think it devalues the rest of the lads' importance when everybody starts talking about when's Alan going to be back and how important is he. Of course he's important, but so is every single one of those lads in there that have played today.
What was the most pleasing thing for you about this afternoon's performance by Blackburn?
I think the way they played. We looked very strong at the back. Bobby said had one save in the first half from Real Fox. And apart from that, we looked pretty solid. And we looked threatening when we broke away as well.
Kenny, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Well, Nick, interesting little duel, wasn't it? The FA Premier League table looks like...